Okay, good morning, everybody. How to identify work that works for you is the title of our webinar Wednesday this morning. So we're going to have a quick chat about the good work model, which is a good way of getting into a good mindset when you're considering applying for a certain possibility. And it is also good to add into your list of non-negotiables. If you don't have a list of non-negotiables for your next role, it means you haven't spoken to me or Becky recently, because we always bang on about non-negotiables, the must-haves, the things you must have for your next role. Why do we do this? Because it stops you going into shiny things syndrome or applying for things which are totally inappropriate, but where you tick all the boxes. And then you land up in the career spaghetti muddle that you were in before. So a list of non-negotiables is really important. So the good work model feeds into that. We will also be discussing what is meaningful work. Now, again, if you've spoken to me recently, if you've spoken to Becky, we also do go on about meaningful work, because 90% of the women that we talk to are not content anymore to share, to give up time, for very precious time, for money alone. Now, the money bit is all very nice. We like the money bits, but midlife, mid-career, in the juggle of responsibilities, whether that's caring for kids, whether that's elder care, and the other things that you want to do, we just want a little bit more. So we'll be discussing, what is that more? What is meaningful work? Because it isn't the same for everybody. It isn't everybody running off to join Médecins Sans Frontières. Brilliant for the ones who are doing that, but we can't all do that. And we're not all rushing to do the sort of charitable work. That isn't necessarily where meaning lies. So yeah, we'll have a look at that too. And if you have a very full inbox at the moment, that's because it is Black Friday week. So we will also be talking through the Career Relaunch Programme and explaining how that works, and talking through the special deal that we have on Black Friday and this weekend, which will actually be opening up to our VIP list tomorrow morning.
The 23rd of November.
Guys, can you just mute if you're not muted for the moment? Somebody's got something interesting going on in the background. Lovely, thank you. Right, okay. So I am Rachel Veal, and for those of you who don't know me, and I am one half of Coaching Partners. I am usually joined by Becky Wilding-Jones. Unfortunately, she's poorly today, and hopefully will be back with us next week. So, but this is a little bit more about us. So we both have an HR background. Mine is actually corporate learning and development, and Becky is an HR generalist. And we use our career development experience in the corporate world to work with individuals, and in particular women, and in particular women returners or career changers, career developers. We run what is called the Career Relaunch Programme, which is for women to help you work out what on earth to do next, how to find good quality, flexible work, to work out what that is, and to work out how to get that. And we do that through online learning, group coaching, and training. More about that later. And Becky Getwasu. No idea if she's going to watch us on catch up. So our agenda today, we're going to look through the good work model. We're going to look at meaningful work. You are very welcome to unmute and ask questions. I say I'm having a problem seeing my chat window at the moment, but I will come out at certain points, and I get a little red dot when people are dropping questions and things in chat. So I will pop in and out so that I can use that function more appropriately a little bit later. So the good work model, what's that all about? The good work model, as I said, is a way of making sure that you are targeting good quality work. When you've been out of the market for a little while, if you have had difficulties in a previous role or in a previous contract, somewhere didn't work out, it's super important that you make a good move next time. And it's really easy to get drawn in by shiny things, particularly if you're looking for flexible work, particularly if within that flex, you're looking for part-time, because there still isn't an awful lot advertised, and hybrid has taken over for the moment. So good work model is a way to determine if a prospective role is right for you, and it's a way to target your job search. When you're thinking about an opportunity, you can then ask yourself, is this good work? What is good work? We've defined it here as growth, work-life balance, support skills, security, remuneration, all really important things, but they will come at different points on your list of priorities, depending on where you are with life and what else is going on in your world at the moment. Let's look at growth. So does this prospective role, does this role that I'm looking at, does it offer growth? Can you develop within the role or expand the role? This will be really important to you if you are an advocate of lifelong learning. I kind of have to be. I'm a corporate learning and development professional, but I do enjoy learning. It does fire me up. I don't like doing the same thing. I like change and I like variety, and there will be others of you who identify with that. So can you develop in this role or expand the role? If this work isn't fulfilling, it's unlikely to be worth the juggle. And however flexible, however wonderful job you manage to find, there's still going to be a juggle, and there's still going to be some compromises, and there's still going to be a little bit of stress therein. So it's got to be worth it. So it's worth thinking at this point in your previous career, how did you learn and how did you grow within your roles, so that you can map that onto your prospective one. So that is growth. Work-life balance. This is likely to be a critical one for you, but what level of work-life balance do you want? What level of work-life balance do you need? Are you prepared to compromise here? And if so, to what degree? Support. Does it provide a supportive environment with constructive relationships? And how important is that team or organisation environment for you? For some people, it is very much all about the people. It is about the collaboration. It is a little bit about the social side too. So how important is that support for you? Skills. So this is very much in the nature of work. Does it empower, is it right for your level of skills and abilities? A lot of parents, especially women, are underemployed. They are not working to their skills and abilities just so that they can work part-time. You'll know these women. You may be one of them. It's completely understandable. There isn't and there hasn't been historically enough part-time work available. So those term time roles, the holy grail, really, really hard to find. So there are a lot of people who are underemployed. They do get attracted by MLMs and things which promise ultimate flex. Now, the good news is that post-pandemic, there is more opportunity. The flexible agenda has shot forward, and there is definitely more hybrid available now. There is definitely more remote work in good quality settings, but there is a part-time issue, and that remains. Ultimately, we would encourage you to create something that you enjoy, where you're using your skills to their potential. As I said previously, it's got to be worth it. It's got to be worth it. Remuneration, pay and benefits. Does it offer good pay and benefits? What did you earn previously? What do you need to earn now? What do you want to earn now? And what will the market pay? It's important not to sacrifice everything on the bonfire of flex. The remuneration level is still important, and that has to be within our current environment. And I look at the salary landscape at the moment, there are many salaries haven't moved very much in the last 10 years. It's very different at the top, but in the middle, there's, as I say, not a lot of movement. So different things will be more or less important to you, but when you're considering the nature of work, what you want within your non-negotiables, the good work model is a really good way of splitting it down and sorting out your priorities today. So looking at these, just think about your own personal situation. If you had to number those from 1 to 6, which one is the most important for you and which one is the least important? So it's easier to start with the most and least. Note on, scribble those down now, or type them into your phone, and just put down the most important one and the least important one, and then start to figure out where the other ones fit within it. So what would be number 1 for you? Is it growth? Is it learning? Is it work-life balance? Is it the flex? Is it the people and therefore the support? Is it the skills element within that? Is it the security of the job itself? Actually, do you need a PAYE job that is fairly secure for now, and with the idea of starting your own business or consulting or whatever, or freelancing, send you running for the hills in horror? That's okay, that's absolutely fine. Just sorting out your priorities. I'm going to stop share for a second and come back into the room. Talk to me, guys. What are your priorities? You can drop it in chat, or you're very welcome to open up mics as well. What is your priorities? And I wonder how much these have changed, actually. Think back to yourself in your 20s and where you were and what your priorities were. I certainly think in mine, the flex agenda didn't come in. Work-life balance wasn't an issue for me then. Learning has always been, and skills would always be. But it's funny, I was very impressed by a shiny office in those days. And free lunch.
It's an interesting list, isn't it? Because I'm really struggling to figure out which would be more important, because they all feel important.
Yeah, they are. Imagine I took one away. Which one could I take away from there? If you absolutely had to drag one away, which one would you take off?
Yeah, that's a good challenge.
For me, I can only talk personally, and I'm not, it's just purely personally, probably security. It's not a major worry for me. So I would probably pop off security. But where people play about with remuneration a bit, it's important, but work-life balance comes a bit higher. As I say, you have to be careful that you don't get dragged down into paying for flex, which is not right. But sometimes if people are going to compromise a bit, then, to be able to have that, the holy grail of term time or good quality work locally, not having to do the London commute if you're outside of London in Surrey or Sussex and the rest of it. You'll know sometimes those things, and there's a financial, you can weigh them up against. You look at the cost now of travelling into London. You look at the cost of station parking. If you have to pay for that, you do have to factor those things in. But if you have other things going on, if you have family responsibilities, if you have teens to deal with, if you have tots to deal with, if you have elder care, if you have other things going on in your life, then the commute can seem actually not just something that you dislike. It can seem just impossible. I remember looking back on when kids were in the nursery phase, looking at how many hours I could do in London. I think it came to about 2 once I'd done nursery drop off, got to a station, got onto a train, got off the train at London Waterloo, gone on the tube or walked somewhere, to an office, given that most of them aren't at London Waterloo, and then made my way back again. Factor in a bit of extra time, because it was one of those nurseries where they would not hang on to your children if you were not there on time. It was yeah, I could work 2 hours a day. So some of you may relate. Right, let's see what's going on in the chat. So I've got priorities here. Work-life balance for a lot of people. I'm only saying priorities like to keep changing. Flex at the moment. Yeah, they do, depending what else is going on in your life and what else is kind of top of the list. Skills, Naseem, yeah, I'm with you there, Naseem, on the skills front and the development front. And Tadora, growth, second, and support, the third. Yeah, people sometimes underestimate the importance of support. That has come forward a little bit. I've really noticed it in client conversations recently, that I think it's a post-pandemic thing, that we all got a little bit reclusive. Some of us will still be in hermit stage, and realize the value that we put on being part of a team and having intelligent conversations some of the time, and being part of something, and having that social bit as well. So it's important not to underestimate the support. Okay, what is last on your list? I won't ask you to do the whole lot, but if I had to do number 6, where would you put yourself? So growth, work-life balance, support, skills, security, and remuneration. What would you put last on your list? And so for me, probably security is the last one at the moment, but you know, things change. Iona's with me on that one too. Depends on what else is going on in your life again. Anyone else got and what's last on your list? Support, skills, security, remuneration. Different. So one to say growth and work-life balance. I'll leave you the thing. Amanda, hi Amanda. Growth. Bottom of the pile. Oh, single mum. So kids come first. Security, yeah. Remuneration, vital. Yeah, absolutely. It's so individual. This it's individual, and it's what's going on now. And at certain times, I'm a big believer in the right for right now job. Sometimes you have the role which is you want to pivot, and you know that in 6 months' time you're going to pivot and do the perfect for the next 5 years type role, but right now you need to go back into employment. So what you do then is that you use your career skill set to pick the easy route and go back into the easiest thing on your CV, the thing you are known for, the thing you don't have to change too much of your CV up for, the thing that recruiters will go, oh yeah, square peg, square hole, perfect. And that's what you do for your right for right now role, but it's a short-term gig. It pays the bills, does that, supports all the things that you need to support, and gives you the headspace to work on the plan for the next 5 years. Okay, let me pop back into sharing. Thank you, guys. Interesting to see your priorities. Okay, so you can have a little think more about that one too, your non-negotiables, the most important, the least important, and then filling in the middle. Just a reminder, when you're looking for work, don't compromise on your non-negotiables. This is meant to be your list of must-haves for your next role. Gets you super focused, gets your brain working on something rather than, oh, I could just do something part-time. Gets you laser focused in, really good for your job search, really good for talking to people. Be clear on your non-negotiables and stick to them. This is your line on the sand. And that's why you've got to start with perfect. Don't start with, oh, well, you know, I want 3 days, but I could do 4 if pushed, right? 3 days. If you want 3 days, write 3 days on your non-negotiables. The idea is they're non-negotiable. Look, we know life happens. The near perfect role might come up and they absolutely won't do that. But you can have a think about what you really, where there is really compromise and where there isn't. But you start from absolute perfect and you go gunning for absolute perfect. And later, if you have to compromise, then you compromise where you can really afford to, but you start with perfect within your non-negotiables. Okay, we've done your top ones. And as I said, it's terribly individual about what is important to you, what is important to you right now within the growth, within work-life balance, support, skills, within security, within remuneration. What do you want right now? What do you need right now? Meaningful work. I love the conversations I have with clients and potential clients around meaningful work. It's so different for everybody, really. But meaningful work becomes important in this midlife, mid-career bit. And we all have things going on. We're not prepared to simply trade those hours for money anymore. We are interested in creating wealth, probably more the personal wealth side, but not just making one other person rich and leaving us spending our time working on widgets that we don't care about, that we have no connection to, no personal connection to. We can't see the point of it all. And as I said, I've had an awful lot of conversations about meaningful work, and over time, I realised that it is incredibly individual, and therefore, you know me, I like to rephrase things as in words that mean something to me. So I think that meaningful is a sense of connection. So it could be a connection to things that we understand, having a full level of understanding of your widgets or your process. Your service-driven business gives you a sense of connection. If you don't have that full level of understanding, so for example, if you're working something super high tech and you don't actually get all of it, there is a sense of disconnect. So it could be a sense of connection to what we understand. It could be a sense of connection to what is important to us. So there could be a personal connection to the outcome of the service, or a personal connection to the product. And with a product, it is quite possible that sense of connection could be that we use the product, or that we like the product. A sense of connection can be quite simple and straightforward, or it can be quite deep. That, to me, that is what is meaningful, and that creates the difference between individuals. Meaningful work doesn't have to be charitable work. It certainly doesn't have to be volunteer work. These can be paid roles. These can be roles which are remunerated well. These can be high level roles. It's just, what is that meaning for you? What is that sense of connection? It has that sense of connection. It is more than the exchange of time for money. In a nutshell. So this is just a little dash through of some of the things which feed into your ever so important non-negotiables list, which please have if you are thinking about looking for work, if you are within the job search process and spending many hours in lovely internet land. This gives you focus. This means that you don't compromise. This means you're not drawn in by those shiny things. This means you are not drawn in by things which are not right for you, things that promise great riches and flexibility but won't work out, or things where you can tick every box. You would be the perfect candidate, but it is the horrible type of work that you desperately want to avoid because it led to burnout, because it led to stress, because it was not right for you, but you tick every box. And when we tick every box, it's funny, if you go on one of the sort of classic job sites like Indeed or something, and you see a job where it looks like it was written for you, you can go, oh, yeah, I've got that on my CV. Yes, I've got that qualification. Yes, I have that experience. Tick, 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 tick. It's so attractive. But even if you know you don't want to go back into that line of work, you want to pivot, you need to pivot. It's not flexible, but I've ticked everything on the list. It's so strange how we're drawn in and how attractive that is. So your non-negotiables list keeps you in line. The good work model helps you to think really deeply about what is important to you, how important it is on a level 1 to 6, and how important it is right now. And that feeds into your must-haves, that feeds in to your non-negotiables, as does meaningful work. If the work that you are looking at, is the job that you are looking at, does not make you feel just a little bit excited, just a little bit drawn in, then it's probably not worth the juggle. It's probably not worth the upheaval. Now, if you're looking for right now, it's a completely different kettle of fish. Right for right now serves a purpose. Job may not be perfect, but the job is not for life. The job is not for years. The job is right for right now, and it serves a purpose, which is usually financial. Different kettle of fish. Same skills base to get it, same job search skills and all the rest of it, but different outcomes. Okay, so that's a good work model, and that is meaningful work. If you haven't written up your list of non-negotiables and you are job hunting or just about to go into that, please make sure you have your list of non-negotiables, your line in the sand. Write it down. It's not good enough. There's enough career spaghetti going on up there already. Please write it down or stick it in your phone. Someone will look at it. Put it on a post-it, scribble it and magnet thingy it on your fridge and have it there. Have it out of your head and have it in black and white. Right. It is Black Friday week, and I did say I would have a chat and explain to you what the career relaunch program is. So here I am. The returners scene. We attract returners, women returners, and we attract career changers, career developers into our program. What's going on with the returner scene at the moment? Well, issues remain that family commitments mean that most people who are returning to work after a parental career break are looking for a certain amount of flex. School and nursery hours are still a pain in the backside, and for many people, this does cause a certain amount of stress, and it does have some impact on the sorts of roles that returners are looking for. Cost of childcare, sky high. A flex within childcare, it depends where you live. There are interesting things happening. If you're in London, you can get an after-school nanny. There are different sorts of nanny shares and things going on. There are co-working opportunities, clubs, centres in the major cities, some fun stuff going on in Brighton. There's stuff in Kingston, and there's interesting things going on, but it's all expensive. The part-time thing, I nodded earlier about the part-time issue. Loads of hybrid, which is good, is really good, the big development. Lots of good quality remote as well, which is also massive development. But where's the part-time gone? It's still not advertised. I have noticed, I was doing some searching for a client, helping her out looking for roles, and we were looking at higher education roles, and I have noticed a change there within, that most of the roles are advertised as open to flex, and they've mentioned job share, they've mentioned term time, mentioned flexi time in terms of accommodating different start and end times within the, and quite interesting, just within the body of the job ad as kind of standard. I guess that's where we want to be for all of it, particularly around job share, which I think is very much the intelligent answer to every job being there as part-time, but obviously costs associated for the employer, which is trickier for a small business. So there's good things happening for the returner. Now, most of the women we work with have been out of the job market for a little while. Some are still working, and they do the Career Relaunch Post programme from a state of employment, but others are unfamiliar with the job market because they've been out of it for a little while. So we do a lot of focus on selling yourself. This is a pretty classic thing, being unfamiliar with the job market. And actually, for some returners, it's that their previous role was in a large organisation, and therefore they haven't done a lot of job search because they spent all their time in one organisation. There wasn't interviewing, and there wasn't the job search element in their lives for that portion. Then there was a career break. So that's why there's been a time where they've been out of it for a little bit. What's happening at the moment? Well, the job market at the moment is buoyant. That's obviously a really big positive, and said a lot of hybrid working around. So those are absolute positives for returners, for people thinking about returning to work after a career break. Which could be a year, could be a lot longer. What about for the career changer? Now, the person who's changing careers midlife tends not to want to do what I'd call a pendulum change thing. They want to do a bit of a career pivot, and that's very much the case for the people on our programme. They may also have other commitments, elder care, that's very common in midlife, mid-career women, and still family responsibilities. I read something recently which said some of the, after the baby and the toddler bit, that the most tricky childcare years are 8 to 18. So in a sense, that's kind of all of it. So if you now have a 7-year-old, just enjoy that quiet time. So family or other commitments are still there for the career change people. They're usually looking to pivot, struggle again with the lack of part-time jobs advertised, and can be, again, some unfamiliarity with the job market. They're looking to pivot. Pivoting means a subtle career change. At the most subtle, it means change of organisation. But for most people, it's a bit more than that. It's drawing out key skills and experience, taking things that worked really well in previous jobs and thinking about how you can flex those up, looking for flexible opportunities, possibly creating roles through networking and other active job search activities if those roles don't exist already. The career changer is also most often looking for meaningful work, as we discussed today. And the buoyant and the hybrid apply for that. What happens next year? Oh, it's so difficult to tell at the moment. The job market's good at the moment, though. Obviously, it depends what you're looking at, but generally there is quite a lot around. I'm just going to pop out of this for a second and see what's happening in my chat. Oh, right now, Nassim, I'll come back to that in a sec. Amanda, I've heard the recession is going to lead to increasing unemployment next year. Do you think it'll be more difficult to find a job in 2023? This is recorded, so I daren't give a concrete answer on this. I'm going to give a political answer on this one. Do recessions cause unemployment? Yes, they do. Is that necessarily bad for you? No, it isn't. It causes unemployment in certain sectors. So it may very much depends whether your sector is going to be vulnerable. It does reduce the overall number of jobs available. Now, everybody here is over the age of 30. I hope, otherwise I have just insulted some people, but I'm assuming everyone is over the age of 30, and therefore you have lived through a recession before. You know the score. There are ups and downs, but we're already in a recession. So we have to contain the fear a little bit. It takes time to feed through. The buoyant job market is still there. There are still lots of job opportunities at the moment. It will take time for things to change, for things to turn around. Are there struggling sectors? Yes. Will that get worse? Yes. Are there going to be fewer jobs by the end of next year? Yes, they will. That doesn't necessarily affect you. And it is also incredibly, I'll go, individual seems to be my word of the day, but it's true. It's like people saying, oh, well, you can't job search at Christmas. Yes, you can. I know people who've got jobs right up to Christmas, not on Christmas Day itself. I'd love to know someone who was offered a job on Christmas Day itself, but perhaps I wouldn't, because nobody should be working and thinking about it on Christmas Day. Be focusing on other things. But right up to Christmas, yes, you absolutely can get employed. You don't have to stop because it's Christmas. So there are always opportunities. So long answer short, and a little on the political side, sorry. Yeah, there will be difficulties caused by the recession, but don't let that get you down. Now is a good time to get out there. January will still be a good time, but it isn't all going to go splat between now and end of January. So don't worry, plough onwards. And if you have a strong CV and you can create a strong pivot CV and do some strong self-marketing, you will get there. Nothing what is right for right now. Oh, that is my concept. I haven't trademarked it yet, but the right for right now job just means the job you do as an interim role to pay the bills or to get you back out there after a really long career break. And it is not your plan for the next 5 years. It's to suit you for 6 months, 6 to 12 months. It can also be a recession-proof thing that, you know, you do your due diligence, but you find out actually these roles aren't available, or there aren't many of these roles available at the moment. So you do something else in the interim, but you are still working on your long-term plan. So the right for right now role is something easy, something which you can do. It's not a career change. It's not a career pivot. So my right for right now role will be a corporate learning and development role, exactly as I used to do within a law firm, within financial services or energy, so that someone could go to my LinkedIn profile and say, oh yes, she's done that before, she can do that again. Right. And that's it. Square peg, square hole. Round peg, round hole. You know what I mean. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Right. I'm just going to share back for a second. So what is a career relaunch program? Career relaunch program is rolling support for women returners, career changers, career developers. The minimum commitment is 4 months. That does mean you have to stick with us for 4 months. Does not mean that it's going to take you 4 months to get a job, but the payment scheme is that it is for payments for 4 months. But we have something special within our offer. What is it? It's online learning. We created during COVID our modules online for super clarity, career courage, it's our confidence module, step up your super clarity, getting clear on your career, working out what on earth to do next, building on what you have done before as intelligent, well-qualified, experienced women that you all are. I've talked to many of you, and that is you. So working out what on earth to do next to add in some flexibility, but also to find quality work. Confidence, job search, both passive job search, organising that and getting super focused on your passive job search, which is internet land and recruitment agencies, because they work for the client and they don't work for you. So that's passive stuff which is already created and out there. And active, creating your own opportunities. Is that scary? Do people dislike it? Yes. But it can even happen to you. We've had quite a few client successes this month, which have been really lovely. And one of them went via an agency for a role that looked like it wasn't going to work out. And she actually withdrew from the interview process and changed her mind. But the agency was so impressed with her that they created and offered her a job interview for a role working with them, which suited her perfectly. She was looking for a little bit of a pivot into HR, into recruitment. So that's a lovely in. That is a lovely in. So although it's active job search seems really scary, and that I'm going to ask you to go to lots of horrible networking events. I'm not. It can also happen to you. It's part of the process of putting yourself out there, getting out beyond the screen, coming out of the internet. making connections, which could be made on the internet, could be made through LinkedIn, but putting yourself out there a bit, then active job search can happen to you, which is a bit strange because then it would be passive. But anyway, you see what I mean. So active job search, passive job search. So let's step up your job search. We have modules on mastering CVs and mastering LinkedIn and interviewing, because these are all the self-marketing parts which have to be right. And there are nuances in there for the returner and for the person who is doing a career pivot. So that all needs to be good. We inject the confidence, the career courage bit in there because most people need a little bit of it. You have to chivvy yourself up a bit when you're going to be self-marketing, because it is a little bit of, look at me, aren't I great? And it may, for various reasons, you may not be feeling that, but you can be acting that. And that's all it takes. Whistle a happy tune and all that jazz. We have a sense of community. We work in groups, and that's really nice. People have said they like that because they can see other people going through the same stuff and they can listen to conversations which affect them too. So it's a sense of camaraderie, it's a sense of us too. The people who are in the programme, they're people who have had a career break, a short career break, or a very long career break. There are also people who are currently working pretty much in right for right now, as in contracts or working out of contracts, which aren't quite right for them, but they are looking and working to their next job being what they want to do, Everybody's looking for some sort of flex, and that might be because of childcare, might be because of elder care, might be just because they want to, which is absolutely fine. Next year, we're introducing a Facebook community along with the rest of the programme. So the online learning, the group coaching and the group training, just to add another element of camaraderie within that. Structurally, how does the group coaching and training work? Well, we meet on a Tuesday and a Thursday at 11 o'clock. Do you have to meet us twice a week, put up with me and Becky twice a week? No, you don't. We would recommend that you come once a week or at a minimum once a fortnight to check in, because otherwise it's just an online learning program. And we are so much more than that. We are passionate about finding you your next role, your flexible role, and we want to give you that support. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're available 11 till 12. Once a fortnight, we make one of those a live training based around our modules of clarity, career courage, job search, interviews, LinkedIn, CV. So we do a live training. If you can't make it, no worries. We record it and we put it with the rest of your online learning materials on our e-learning platform, Thinkific. That's what we do. This is on our website. If you go to our website, coachingpartners.co.uk, there is a tab, the Career Relaunch Programme, and you'll see this there. But this is telling you a little bit about our modules and how it works, but there's lots of detail, and I've been updating testimonials as we go along. Out of our current cohort, just had 2 more into work. We had another one who had one successful interview this week and had the second interview coming up, so TBC on that one, but looking good. Okay. How much does it cost, Rachel? Stop littering and just tell us how much it costs. Okay, all right. So the investment is £646, and that is in a payment plan. So £50 is due now, and then nothing more is due until late January, depending on the date that you sign up. It'll be around 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th of the month, 298 at the end of March. And then you can stop. If you'd like some more support, you're welcome to carry on a monthly rolling basis. Some people have done that from our current cohort, but completely up to you. We are doing this because we're looking mainly towards January starters. So from this weekend, if you sign up with us, you have access to all of your online materials straight away. So if you want to get started, you have some time between now and Christmas, you can get started with your online learning. But if you don't, if Christmas comes up and bites you on the bottom, that's fine. It's going to cut very fast now, and that's okay. But you can probably grab 10 minutes here or there here and there, just to have a look and get yourself in the right mindset for January. But this is so you can hit January, hit the ground running hit January. You can hit January. You can hit the ground running in January. This is all on the website. There's also a secret squirrel page for this Black Friday deal, which I will share the link for you in chat if I can in a moment. And also I will email the secret squirrel link out to you. It's not open at the moment. This opens tomorrow for the VIP list. 10 places are available. And on Friday, it opens to everybody else. So those who join the VIP list, thank you very much. And I've been trying to chat to as many of you as I can about this, because obviously it's very individual. So just to reiterate again, we're looking really for the January starters, but if you want to get going, you have immediate access to all of your online learning, so you can get started in your own time. Then after Christmas, it's business as usual, and we're back to live training and coaching on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and that goes through. So if you signed up to that program, you've got everything you need to get started in December, and then potentially, if you want to be with us and you want that level of support, you have January, February, March, and April. We're going outcome based. We want to get you a new flexible job. If you can do that in 6 to 8 weeks, fantastic. We'll be rooting for you. We'll support you all the way. But sometimes we have found, and our community have found, that life happens. Our community have a lot of other things going on in their lives. They're busy. They have other responsibilities, and they are not top of the list. As is the case for some of you too. So this just, it allows life to do what life does. Life happens, and it allows a little bit of flexibility. It allows you to gradually work out what you want to do and get there at your own pace. And if the whole family goes down with COVID, if you have to move house, if other things happen, you can pick up again. It's about accountability. We're there for you. We will prod you if you don't turn up. We don't see you every now and again. We will prod you and say, hey, is everything all right? We will ask you what your goals are for the week. We will check in and see what you're doing and check that you are consistently moving forward. So you have that accountability. You have us to support you with coaching. You have us to support you with live training, so that you're not just staring at a screen, but you have all your resources there that you need as well. So you can get on, be working on your CV, be working on your LinkedIn to get super clear. Clarity is the bit where most people need the most support. It really helps to talk through. But a lot of other things like LinkedIn, you can be getting on behind the scenes, and then we can help you in between. But potentially we can support you. You have us there if you need us. You have us there for longer. If you're saying, well, that's a hugely long time, I'm going to be finding my perfect job way before that. That's fantastic. You're looking for a positive outcome from the support of this program. So you just see this as an extended payment plan, but you go as fast or slow as you want to. Bonuses, we just talked about bonuses. I'm really quickly unaware of me talking an awful lot and end of the time. So bonuses, quickly, this is all on the website, on the Secret Squirrel link. So a 1 hour one-to-one orientation and goal setting coaching session. We'll do this with you in December, so that even if you're not getting started on your training, on not doing any learning, your head is going to be ready for January. And we're going to make this, we are using our bonuses to just individualize the group bit a little bit more. So you get one of us for an hour to talk about whatever you like in terms of your own career project, but we will look at the goal setting and personalizing those goals and getting you all ready for January. So one of the bonuses is a one-to-one, 1 hour coaching session. Another bonus is an individual CV health check. So again, that you get the individual health check, that we will look over your CV for you. We will do the same also for your LinkedIn. There's just a little bit more personalization for the group program, because when obviously you're part of that group for the coaching and the training. But we are accessible on email as well. We are there for you. It's a small business. we want you to come out of there with the flexible job that you love and that works for you and that works for your other commitments. So we will do our utmost to help you and be there for you and the others in the group will too. Speedy recap. December, sign up with us tomorrow if you're on the VIP list, Friday if you're not, Saturday, Sunday. When the 10 places are gone, they're gone, and we go back up to the normal payment system, which is $199 a month with a minimum commitment of 4 months, so just under the £800 mark. December, you've got access to all your online training. January to April, so potentially for 4 months if you need it, you have access to career training, to career coaching, to support and to the group. The Black Friday special price is £646, which is a saving of £150 on the now price. And when you sign up, you only need to pay £50 now, and the next payment will be automatically applied towards the end of January, depending on the date when you signed up. It's all on the Secret Squirrel link. Bonuses are one-to-one coaching session for an hour, which we hope to do in December to get you all powered up and ready for January, and an individual CV and LinkedIn health check as well. Right, I'm going to breathe and stop talking now. Ask me a question. Ask me a question. I'm going to stop my share. Come back into the room. Just see if I've got anything. Amanda, plan to be a role after next summer holes, so beginning September. When do I need to start sorting the CV and start the job hunting process? Okay, so you need to think back before the summer holidays, and also with the slowdown. So May, June, I think. May, June, I think, depending on where you are now. If you have a bit of clarity work to do in the exactly what am I looking for, then starting a tiny bit earlier. Just give yourself a little bit of space. Also, the life happens and the summer slowdown and whatever things you have going on in the summer. So if I pull that down, so I say June, May for clarity work, and then CV, LinkedIn. Summer is really slow and it's a horrible time for interviewing. It is possible, it's always possible to do job interviews, always possible to get a job, whatever time of year, apart from maybe Christmas Day. But there is that summer slowdown, and my clients have been in interview processes over the summer which have collapsed because people have gone away and then things don't resume again. So it's not a good time to be interviewing in the summer. It can soon get messy. August time, July's fine. August just goes, whoa. So yeah, okay, nutshell, May, June. Okay, very welcome. And come to us, obviously. Come to us. Right, another question. Feel free, you can open up mics. You could be brave and put your camera on if you wanted to, but you don't have to. Or you can drop something in the chat. I'm actually going to stop the recording as well, because I don't normally let questions go onto the recording. Stopping recording now.